Give yourself credit, it's just 23.
Are we online, ready to go? All right. All right, well, welcome to our August 13th school board meeting for Norwich. First item is agenda review. Is there any changes to the agenda? Hearing none. Public may address the board. I do not see anyone on Zoom, and there's no one in the audience. That's public. Okay, PTO report, I think I did not receive an email and I don't see anybody online, so I don't think there's a PTO report for August, which isn't particularly surprising. All right, our business requiring discussion. Sorry. I'm in the wrong meeting, I'm in the sixth, I'm in like the June meeting, hold on a second.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's a policy thing, so Garrett, it's you anyway, because it's a policy is the first thing.
No, I know, I'm just looking at, all meetings, sorry.
Hold on, it's under the yellow. I always get stuck there.
Nope, that's Hanover. All right, was on, and then when I get promoted. All right, here we are, 8:13, I'm not going to follow it. Okay. Business requiring action, a discussion, okay, so we have our second reading of this policy. This is one of our standard policies. Neil did email that we need to appoint.
Oh, yes, yeah, I saw that.
Appoint a point of contact. And a local agency security officer.
It's on page 2, letter B.
You know,
Yeah.
school board people, or are they?
I don't
who have
think
they
they
been-
usually are.
been-
No.
Sean, if you're on 2 and you know the answers, please,
I thought it was Greg, isn't it usually Greg?
It is.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. And he's not here, so we can just,
Cause I was questioning
Yeah.
about every year doing that.
okay. So Greg would be our point of contact? Or, but would he hold both roles?
He's listed as the official, what do they call it again, I forgot the official title.
Let's see. That's the
Truancy.
truancy, but this is
Oh, he's-
point of contact and local agency security officer, unless those are the same things.
I think actually I'm the local agency security officer.
Okay,
okay. And then would Greg be the point of contact for here though?
Let me look at this again.
Ensuring all authorized personnel include security awareness training, sign acknowledgement statement of misuse.
Where is it under 2?
It's 5,
Page
Oh,
2,
fine,
letter
okay.
B.
letter 5.
Letter B.
Okay.
Roman numeral 5,
Point
there we
of
can be really
contact
precise.
and local agencies. Sarah. Okay, so. So this person, we had Amy as this person, as the point of contact, so now we should make it Pam.
Okay.
And then I think I'm the LASO. Yeah. Yeah, I'm the LASO.
okay. All right, so we're making the, motion, maybe we can, or did, we'll just add that to the show that,
Yeah.
then take her to set down. I'm just looking at a set of notes to take. Okay, Okay, so Pam is the
Yes, and Easton.
is the POC. Okay, and Robin is the
LASO.
Here, besides.
oh, Lisa.
Yeah, I don't have any issues with what I read in the green. I just was curious why there's so much green.
Because I found out that this is a required policy.
Gotcha,
We
okay,
have to
I
have.
figured as much.
And it came through when I had to do all this, training for the criminal records check.
Okay,
Make sure we were in compliance and.
that was
so-
my assumption.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so one of the pieces that we have to have, you know, going through the training is this policy. And it's supposed to have all this information in it.
and then just a follow-up, would this be the same, is this just for Vermont or is this for?
Yes.
Okay, just for Vermont.
Mhm.
Does anything in here then cause problems for what has to happen over there and make things complicated for you guys? I mean, do we need to have them be the same?
No, I don't think so, because they're different requirements.
Okay. I just been trying to make things as easy as possible for you
Yeah.
all, with the 4 schools.
Yeah,
But-
sure.
And if this makes it an issue, I don't know if it was worthwhile to have a policy committee.
Yeah.
Look at it to see. Yeah, how we sometimes borrow policy
Mhm.
across the state. line.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah, this was just one of those unique ones that we have to have for Vermont.
okay, thank you.
Good. All right, so assuming no other discussion on that item, we will approve it with Pam Easton as the POC and with Robin as the LASO. Okay, on to our item B, our handbook changes for MCS. Sean, do you have any comments there?
Sure. It's pretty simple. The first section are just some minor changes that we found in the handbook that are pretty basic. The bigger piece, we added some playground expectations in for students and adults. And we also added in a big section on emergency actions and safety drills to match our handbook to what RMS is doing. So you'll see the section with our different drills and expectations for those. And those are the only big changes to the handbook.
Any questions or comments for Sean on the changes to the handbook?
I liked the safety edition. I like the visual, and I think that's great for parents. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So those also be up for our action, we'll approve those changes. On to our item C, our draft budget timeline and guidelines. So attached to this document are the new budget process timeline that the SAU budget committee put forth in the spring, and then the second part, attachment is last year's budget guidelines, which would be redrafted for 2027 and 2028. As far as the budget process, this is a little bit more confusing. Usually we have a meeting in August, but I know now we kind of are. The strategic budget meeting number 1, that wouldn't be still September,
Right.
and then the budget committees. I mean, at the end of the day, I believe. So in September, we need to, the big thing is working. With Teresa or someone to make sure these get scheduled. And
Yeah.
Teresa kind of being new to this process last year, there was a little bit of confusion as far as. When they should be there, who should attend.
Yeah.
At least for Norwich, the committees, myself and Neil and Sean is always there
Mhm.
as well.
Yeah.
And obviously if if you want to attend.
Yes, yeah. And we did, Ryan has been scheduling these. She has the draft schedule prepared. She just wanted to go through it one more time and make sure all the election things were in there and those pieces, so she's getting that all scheduled, and our first uniform meeting is on the 17th of September,
Okay,
so. it's
and then
right
is the
before.
idea, you think, so the first uniform meeting is is district wide now?
Yeah,
So are we gonna have that meeting before the individual meeting?
yeah, so we'll have that meeting and then we'll split up into the individual meetings, so
At
we'll
the
do
same
it all on the same day.
Okay,
That's the intention, we'll see how it works.
okay,
And then we would be prepared to present the budget guidelines at each of our meetings in September. The only one that we'll miss is Hanover, but we'll prepare to do a special call meeting before Dresden and SAU to approve those, if
You
we
mean
are able to
October?
get it done. No, in September, actually.
Norwich should be up.
September, I think Norwich is late in September for
Oh, it
some
is?
reason, yeah.
Okay.
See, I think it actually, yes, it falls, I think, after
Oh, interesting.
that one, maybe not, oh, maybe I'm wrong.
Our next meeting is September 2nd.
Okay.
But that would actually be okay, because then we would approve budget
That's right,
guidelines
yeah.
for October 2nd.
Right.
Yeah, which would kind of be like.
Which would be
Yeah,
nice.
or was it earlier, was it 13?
November 2nd, well,
Oh,
September 2nd, I have Norwich.
yeah, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So maybe it was Norwich that we need to do, we might need to do a special call meeting before,
Afterwards.
Cause it's
Yeah.
so early in the month.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cause it's September 17th that we're trying to schedule the strategic alignment.
Right, but then the budget guidelines we would have available for the Norwich
Like October
school
2nd.
board to
Yeah.
approve on October 2nd.
Yeah.
I do it.
Mhm.
Okay. And don't forget, sometimes we even go one more time if there's some edits and stuff. So that-
Yeah.
Now we're pushing a little, usually we
Mm.
finalize them in October, I think, so is that way?
Yeah,
Okay.
and we're setting up all the school level meetings with the principals too, so we've got all those dates too.
So the idea is, instead of us like making this kind of wacky budget guidelines, that we are kind of like just kind of putting a
Yeah,
thing out there for, I think this is gonna be, will be a little more informed as far as, you know, the quick model will be a little bit further along, we'll know what everyone's doing in every district.
yeah,
And
and then we'll have an idea of what each
Right.
district is proposing for budget guides, so it gives us a better overall picture
Right.
of what's happening, which I think actually will be helpful for us this year with the HB 1300 in New Hampshire with the possible tax cut situation, so. And having the SAU budget early will be helpful for that too, yeah, so.
Lisa,
Yeah, just, the only thing is the capital improvement plan updates appeared that they were supposed to happen this meeting, according to this, at this meeting in August, so. Just
Yeah,
move it down the timeline for,
we will do the capital improvement planning update at the SAU meeting.
at the SAU
Yeah.
August meeting, okay.
And actually, I'll talk about it a little bit
Okay.
in my report tonight.
So that's only, that would only happen at the SAU meeting then,
Yeah.
since it's not happening here, okay,
Mhm.
okay,
Cause
thank
we'll
you,
talk about the whole
Yeah.
gamut.
all good. I just was like, we're not doing it tonight.
Yeah.
well, that's what's happening, and it's
Yeah.
happening, you know.
Yeah.
Capital improvement committee, right? So-
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, so
all right. Perfect, so any other questions on that? I think everyone has a good understanding of that?
Yep.
Okay. All right, on to item D, our curriculum update regarding languages and Spanish.
So with this one, you know, we talked about it at our last special call meeting, and we have to approve it at the next thing, the change to Spanish. So that's why we brought it back now, because it takes, you know, we have to go through 2 rounds, like when we did the new curriculum for ELA. We presented it at one meeting, then we had to approve it at the second meeting, so that's why it's on the agenda again for tonight.
Good.
And we do hopefully need to approve it because we have a, as you saw, potential Spanish teacher.
All right,
And that will be a non-public then?
Yes,
Okay.
mhm.
so we can do that at the September meeting, which would be,
We can do it at this meeting, approve the Spanish,
okay.
because we already did it at our special call meeting.
Oh, I see.
That was
Yeah.
our first discussion.
Our first discussion about moving towards to Spanish,
Okay,
so we can do it, we can actually approve it at this meeting.
Okay.
Okay. And what are we approving now as far as
The change,
actual, just the change?
Yeah.
So it's gonna be the same, so there's no change in the curriculum per se, it's just the language curriculum, now it's gonna be Spanish instead of French.
whereas, yes,
Okay,
correct.
Gina,
Just noting that we'd be changing languages, what would be involved or how will the transition happen for,
Yeah.
but for the students to make sure there's some smoothness? Or,
Yes.
or is it like, hey, we're starting over? I guess I'd be curious to hear how you and Rashawn and Lauren are thinking about that part.
I think that fortunately, we've been doing all the curriculum work over the past few years, so the Spanish curriculum is pretty well documented for the grade school.
Got it, okay.
Which is great, so we can provide our new teacher with that curriculum. Also, she has been. We can talk about this, kind of person, has been teaching for a long time, many grade levels too, so,
Okay,
yeah, so we will have.
so that's right.
There's the opportunity for that cross.
Yeah.
Curricular sharing between the two schools.
So then just for like the motion, which says move to approve changing the world language curriculum from French to Spanish for the 26-27 school year as presented.
Yes.
As presented is that you recommend that we do this, we have someone which we're gonna talk about during non-public, and we're gonna follow the race school
Yes,
curriculum guidelines. Okay,
yes.
okay, thanks, I just wanted
Yes.
clear.
good. I'm okay with this and everyone's okay with this. Sean, do you have any comments that you wanna make, or?
Just the one thing I'd say is I've talked to the person who we're recommending for the position, and she has an implementation plan in mind of how she would take students at different grade levels and introduce them to Spanish and get them up to speed as quickly as possible to the where they should be in the curriculum. So she's thought that through already, which I think is great.
Right.
I guess I have just one more question, I'm sorry, Garrett, did you all hear anything from anyone after our meeting last time?
No,
Okay,
no, so I didn't hear anything, I don't know.
no,
I'll have.
I've heard nothing, so I just was wondering
Mhm.
if there really was nothing or if you guys had heard it.
Yeah, no, I haven't gotten
Sean's
anything.
off. Sean, did you hear anything?
I received 4 emails, 2 appreciative to switch to Spanish, 1 upset that we're making the move, and 1 just had some questions. And that was it.
Thank you, sorry.
No apologies.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe as the chair, so just to replay the tape, we had a late resignation in our language department. Sean advised us of that immediately. We as a board said, let's keep it surprised if there's applicants for the French position. There were no applicants, at least that were acceptable to the French position, at which point we had an emergency meeting a few weeks ago and gave them the thumbs up to open it up for Spanish. So the public was able to attend that meeting, and the idea is that it is better to continue with a language, and especially since the Ray School and RMS has Spanish, that this would be a good option rather than completely jettisoning language for the next year at MCS, which we did discuss, and what that would mean for the curriculum, and the teachers were prepared to shift it and just not have any language. But given the applicant, seems like a great applicant, and Spanish would work well. We're making the decision to move forward now with this curriculum, so that's the quick summary there. All right, any other comments? Hearing none. Sure, there's no one guys still. All right, hearing none, so our business requiring action, we have the approval of B through G by consent, so those are. The approval of expenditures, approval of minutes, approval of non-public minutes, approval of our policy that we just discussed, and we had listed before who the 2 individuals that we named in that. The handbook changes, we are appointing truancy officer who is Craig Bagnano every year. And then we're approving the Spanish curriculum. Gina,
I did review the minutes and I noted a few tiny nitpick changes that I would suggest we make before we approve them, or at like approved with changes.
Yeah.
One was, let me see if I go through, okay, so the one that was the most recent, July 29th. On the second page, this is super tiny, but my name is not spelled correctly, it says Descognet instead of Descognet.
that's what you're talking about this.
Yeah. So it is that, I just wanna show that I really was reading the. The one from June 3rd. Like, there's just, I would encourage the names to get checked. Warren's name is spelled incorrectly in the opening of the meeting, and then the other one, it says Mrs., like Rebecca Holcomb in E. It's missing a B. I worked for a lawyer once, so I'm very anal about spelling, so I apologize, it's probably annoying. And then the July 9th one, I believe it's referencing you, Robin, and it says, Mr. Palm noted that Mrs. Stein volunteered to take on the role, and I thought it should say Steiner.
Yes.
So, those are my. Approved with those changes.
Stein.
Stein.
Okay, we'll make those changes.
All right, thank you, Gina, for attention to
Yes.
detail on this. Okay, so again, with those changes, we don't need to, we'll amend the minutes for the notes,
Yeah.
screen taker. But do I hear a motion to approve items B through G? Gina,
I move to approve items B through G by consent.
Lisa seconds it, all those in favor? That is unanimous, thank you.
But it's missing H, so maybe, are we doing?
Well, it says H will be voted separately.
Oh, sorry, I missed that part.
Oh, actually, thank you.
Okay.
Need to vote each separately. All right, do I have a motion for item H, which is the improving of the Spanish curriculum? The language is here.
I can try. Do you want a little detail in it, or do you want it to just be what it says here?
I think this, let's see, after.
It just says the board will approve changing the world language curriculum from French to Spanish. Do we want to add
Well, there's a
the
move.
following?
I would say, I do the recommendation, we
Okay.
approve the world language.
Curriculum from French to Spanish for the 2026-27 school year as presented, meaning following the Ray School curriculum, with the possibility of the teacher that we might be hiring during non-public. So.
Sounds good. All right, do I have a second? Gina seconds it, all those in favor? All right, and that is unanimous. Okay. Report of the chair, I don't have anything major to report, thank you for everyone, I know everyone's already off to the races. With a lot of work in the middle of ending of August here, looking forward to getting the school year going, the budget season going, and all the that work that's to be done. Also keeping an eye on all the elections that were just had here on Tuesday. So those are gonna set up our slate of electors or electees that we'll be voting on, I think, in November. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. Don't really have anything, I don't think, in particular from a legislative update, so. There's some waiting to be seen. Robin, I know we discussed, had maybe in your report as far as some of the
Yes, yeah.
statewide things.
Mhm.
But we're keeping an eye on that as well, and what anything that we may need to act on there with regards to our. I'm sorry, what do you call it? The
CSAP.
CISA, our group here. So that's where we are. On to a principal's report, Sean.
First, I will say that I was definitely in summer mode when I submitted this report because if you look at the headings, it tests to see if you read it or not. So in
read
the so I'll fix it and upload it again so that they're correct. Anyway, I've submitted my report. You've got the latest number enrollment. We have 318 students. We do have 6 tuition students this year, which I think is great. You have the number of sections. I put in our school goal for you to look at. The school goal and in-service planning, not planting. Um, and then just some highlights of a couple of items that we did learning, not leaning together this summer. There were a couple of teams that did work that's going to help our school throughout the year. Student safety and well-being, we have a really fantastic safety committee that met twice this summer to go through all of our protocols and get ourselves up and ready for the school year. And we're welcoming new staff, not stuff. We have a lot of stuff as well. We have hired some really great people, and today we had the new staff orientation, which was fantastic. And the afternoon, Greg and I got to spend with all of our new staff members, which was great. And we're preparing our school. Um, just a little shout out for all the great work that the custodians did. And then just to say how excited we are. It gets a little lonely at school during the summer, so it's nice to know that students and staff are coming back soon and will fill our halls and be very cheery. Do you have any questions for me?
Sean, I was curious, have you shared the school goal with the teachers and professionals? And I was curious what their response was, if you did.
Oh, that's a good question. So we created the school goal together. So at the end of last year, the staff worked together to decide what we wanted to work on this year and created a idea. And then we have a leadership team that worked to craft the goal and kind of refine it. So we've done this all together. The only staff that are not familiar are the new ones that we've hired.
Oh, cool, thanks.
You're welcome.
That's nice to hear. I did hear from one of the teachers about some of the things that were done over the summer, and it sounded like they were very useful, so. All right, any other questions for Sean? Welcome, Michael.
Grateful to be here. Sorry it took so long and did not take into account fare related to traffic.
Yes.
My apologies.
All right, any other, onto that, we'll move on to Robin's report.
I submitted my report, but a few other things related to that. I have participated in my first CISA meeting yesterday. Yesterday, yes, the days are blending together.
All right.
And, I have volunteered to participate with a group of people in our CISA to attend one of these, the Vermont Learning Institute is doing more training and providing more information about the CISAs, so I'm participating in that. The first meeting, we were just really looking at what our job is as a group, and we, identified who would be in charge of the meetings and secretary and vice chairs and things like that. So it was a fairly basic overview. We set up all of our meetings for the year. Well, we set up our next meeting, though we talked about having meetings every other month. And we're gonna see if that works to get the job done that we need to finish. So it was fine. And we did it during the day, which worked out great.
Yeah.
It's a really diverse group of people. It's superintendents, a lot of assistant superintendents, some business administrators. So, I don't, we had maybe one board member was, part of it, but yeah, it was a pretty diverse group of people, so. I think it will be interesting. It's hard for us because it's such a blend of different areas. So when I think about a service area agreement, I think people that, I think about our people that are close by and maybe more aligned to our technology centers and things like that. So that's one of the things I think that we'll get into, but we have to do an audit of what services we could potentially provide and things like that. So I'll keep you informed of that. Teresa and Tony have been doing a lot of work on the capital improvement plan and meeting with the committee. They've been putting things in Assembly, so the capital improvement plan will all be available in Assembly. But they've also done a really nice chart for us that lays out what we could potentially look at for each school over the next few years, like the next 10 years, looking at increments of maybe 2 years from now, and then maybe 10 years from then. So I think that's gonna be really helpful. What we want to move into after we present at the SAU meeting is to add some board members who want to dig into that information and see what we really want to potentially take on over the next few years. And, maybe just think creatively about, okay, these are the recommendations based on what we have from Krebs Cullen and our original audit, and what principals have provided for information, and then what, our facilities people know about our buildings. So I think it will be a good next step. So that's really come along magnificently. And the summer, I mean, it's just been such a whirlwind. I feel like, starting year two, it's so much nicer. We are fully staffed once again as of Monday in the SAU. We hired our front office person. I know we have a lot of turnover in finance, but they're all doing an amazing job. So I feel like things are just coming along and running a little bit more smoothly. So it's been a good start to the summer, and hopefully a good start as we move into the school year. And everyone will be back here at Marion Cross next week. And then I'll have a full staff meeting with all district employees on Monday, the 24th. You're all invited to attend that if you'd like to. 8 o'clock, we'll have breakfast, and then I'll do a little speech, and then we'll present recognition to our 10, 20, and 30-year staff members, and we'll have a student panel, which is something I started last year, and I think I got good feedback about it, so I'm going to do the same thing again this year, and I think it's been a nice tradition to start for the district. So
Where is it?
That's
really
what's gonna be my
excited.
next question.
That's at the high
HHS?
school.
Yeah.
Yes, and we'll have breakfast in the cafeteria, and then we'll convene in the auditorium. So, and I bussed actually, Teresa arranged for us to have buses from Marion Cross and
Perfect.
elementary and middle schools, because last year, parking is at the high school, a nightmare, so. So I'm happy to answer any questions, but that's the work that's been going on.
Yeah, just a quick question about the CISA, mentioning, I know it's too early to sort of think about trying to get back to the one that includes Hartford.
Yeah.
But is there anyone in the one that we're in that also needs to move, or are we sort of the rogue? Cause I'm just
No.
wondering, if a lot of people need to move, it might be more likely that it would happen.
Yeah, I do feel like there are a few people in this group that could move back to this area.
Okay.
But I don't know how it's gonna work. I mean, if we have to apply to the legislature, and there are just still so many unknowns about it. That was one of the things that we talked about the other day at our meeting, just, we're supposed to do these certain tasks, but there are still so many unknowns about some of the tasks that we have to do. So I'm hoping that training might help us potentially.
Does Hartford also need to move? So they're with us.
Yes, they're
Okay.
supposed to be with us, but I don't think there's anyone for the other day.
Okay, but just to be clear,
you.
Yeah,
Part of it.
but I thought you had said that the Hartford people were just gonna go to the one that, like, the other one anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I know, that one, I know, but
okay, but just to be clear right now, Hartford and us are here.
yes,
And Hartford had talked about moving.
Yeah,
south
right,
to be
right,
consistent.
and I
Obviously, we would have to
can
follow them too, but to be clear, no one was allowed to do that because the
Right,
legislature
Yeah.
needs to approve that.
But Hartford is separated from all of its feeding schools right now,
Except for us.
except for us.
yeah.
Okay,
Strange.
yeah, that's weird. Yeah.
And was there a professional in this meeting too, like someone from?
No.
state to help?
Mhm.
Okay.
No one from the state. They are working on, I think they've hired an executive director for all
Okay,
the
for all
CSIS
the
at this
CSIS.
point.
Okay,
And then we need to find people for each of the regions. So that was one of the questions that we had, how we go about doing that. So,
and it's like all supposed to like have like the act, like when are the services supposed to be like available and set up and then chosen? Like,
I
are we talking
think-
like this year or? 2 years?
I'm not sure what the end date is.
Okay.
I know I think we're supposed to have like a certain benchmark completed by January.
Okay.
And then, I don't know, it's gonna be, because we're supposed to do the service audit, and then there's another big piece that we need to do. And then, potentially this hiring and getting training, so.
Okay, just for the public's knowledge, this is the Cooperative Educational Service Area, which was passed as the last piece of legislation last year, and that directed us to all set up these, cooperative CSAs.
Yeah.
And we all needed to vote someone to be our representative. Robin very kindly took that role on. It looks like we actually made the kind of right decision, with everyone else had either
Yeah.
taken a super assistant VAs versus school board members, so.
Yeah, no, I think it would be.
Okay, but again, that's gonna be some added work that, thank you for doing that, so.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, any other questions for Robin? All right. On to, your title is still as long as ever.
Yeah. Not it for enough, but.
Curriculum.
That's right. Yeah.
We could have never seen some representative. Now that you're moving out the track, you slotted it.
every month plate.
I saw all those assistant superintendents, I was thinking.
No, I have your back. So, you thought that Sean jumped you forward in time to 2029. Well, I took it a step further. We're now in the year 20,206. That was my error. I didn't go back and fix it because the next line clearly says the school year that we are in, and I didn't want Sean to feel that either. So in solidarity, we are all moving forward. So you have the report in front of you. It's fairly extensive, highlights a lot of things that happened during the summer. This was, as you all know, my actual first summer in this position. I started last August, so finding the pace, understanding the work, that was much of the job this summer, and we got a lot done. A couple of things that I wanted to highlight are the summer curriculum work and the continued publishing of curriculum. We are getting really close to being at 100%. I've gotten through everything that I have access to, so things that are not published, either I'm waiting for responses and reviews by teachers, or it exists somewhere in a folder that I just can't find. But we're getting really close. I would say we're probably at 90%, if not more, of published work across the district. And very close to that in Mary Cross as well. Today, as Sean mentioned, we had our new staff orientation, and when I wrote this report, I said that we had 11 people planning to attend, and today we had over 20 new staff members.
Yeah.
So our human resources department has done a ton of work, especially in the past week, to get people in the door and then also get them excited about the orientation, and we had a great turnout today. Lots of folks from different walks of life and places across the nation and the world. So it was exciting to have that group of educators all together today in all sorts of positions in the district as well. Dartmouth Partnership Day was on Wednesday. And I mentioned it here, but it was a really incredible event, took a lot of pictures, and in my next report, I'll make sure to highlight that as well. And I'm happy to answer any questions about everything that's happened in the summer.
I don't have a question, but I have a compliment. I like that you had last year's grant money and this year's, just because it helps to benchmark, so thank you.
Any other questions for Lauren? All right, thank you for that. Thank you for all the detail.
Got it.
Perfect. All right, and on to Teresa's report.
All right, I've uploaded a lot of reports. I won't go through every single one of them, but what I'll do is highlight the 1.0, which is the general ledger. So I can see. I will say that the revenues right now on the report show as $16,596,000. There's another $3,300 that we received. It's for tech ed unenrollment, so if a student is attending the tech ed and things, programs like that, we kind of get a little reimbursement and the way it goes, so we got another 3,300. So that put us at $16,600,204 in revenues for this year with about a $21,000 surplus. And then for the expenditures, we're at $16,788,011. And that we ended the year, and I did have comments in the, you'll see the red highlights for ones that are sort of over budget and the reasons, and some that were quite a bit under budget and the reasons too. And 1.1 document goes a little step further again and does some more breakdown and explanation of some of those. But for the expenditures, we came under 91,000, I can speak, sorry. And then so our total operational fund balance for FY 26 would be 108,888. We came in with the $300,000 fund balance to offset the revenues. After the FY 25 audit officially was over, we had about another 119. Part of that is because late in the fall, we received like $186,000 payment, and it had to do with extraordinary funds that we had, and we didn't know that anticipation. We didn't even have that number at the end of the FY 25 year, so it wasn't even at that time recognized. So part of that was recognized for 25, which brought the fund balance at 419,046. And so based on our projected fund balance available and then the offset 300,000 that we anticipated to use for the FY 27 school year, that would leave still 227,934 as a current unaudited unassigned surplus. And then the 2.0 document, I'm just giving you update on basically the federal grants Fund 2, Food Operations Fund 4, Medicaid Reimbursement Fund 5 account we have, and then the Special Gifts Fund 27. And then I have also attached the FY 25 audit document. We are still waiting for the final report, but you'll see attached down there under 3.0, which is the MD&A and everything else. And then the Norwich draft, like I said, I'm just waiting for the final draft. Not the draft, I mean the actual final report to receive that. But everything's been finalized. And then the last two documents that start with Norwich and then is just the food service program plan. It's a highlight of what's been going on for the food service for the last, I've been using the term 3 months, but it's been going on a whole lot longer. But I had the opportunity to attend the Farm to School Institute with the rest of the group from MCS, and I was really happy that I went and everything else, because it gave such a enlightening point of view and everything else from that point, you know, as we're trying to draw the financial part of it and make the program still more nutritious, healthier and everything else, involving community, involving the kids in the classrooms, and just trying to pull it all together. It just really kind of benefited to see both, sort of almost like seeing both sides. So that document, if you choose to read through it, just kind of highlights that and sort of the plan of action. And we've had a lot of meetings with the food service company. And so Marion Cross is kind of gonna be sort of like a pilot program, which will kind of be mimicked over at the Ray School too. So the elementary schools will be be running the same kind of program instead of being different and everything else again. Did have a little book if anybody cares to see like some of the menu types of things that are already in plan and things like that. At the beginning of the school year, the food service company is creating the menu just for the first month because that's just the way timing. But after that, they'll the groups, any other parents, anybody who else wants to be involved in everything else, can be involved and have more input into the budgeting and not the budgeting, sorry, the menus. and everything else. Trevor, I don't want to forget Trevor. So Trevor Porter was at the Ray School. They're gonna move him over here. So he'll lead the food service program over on this side now. He,
Is that Trevor that used to run the top?
I
I
don't
bet it
know
is.
that.
I don't know. I'm just
Um,
thinking.
Cause I'm not
I
sure.
believe it is when
He's dark hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
short hair.
short hair, yeah.
All right, yep. Yeah, so he'll be, working over here. He's a really strong candidate to work with the group of people over here with the primary school and really even take that and then, and everything else. So kind of excited about that and, trying to think if I'm forgetting anything else about food service, but,
On the website,
oh, the web, thank you.
yeah.
And the websites are getting updated. I've been working with Karen Wright on those. So they look really nice. The way that, whether you click on the food service on one school district or the other, and again, I know this is Marion Cross, but it's kind of bringing things together. But it's nice how now they're laid out and all the pages look identical. And so when you're one parent, which is, I keep going back to the same thing, I'm one parent, especially if I'm on this side of the river. And I've got kids in 3 different schools. I need to know that if I click here, I can click here over here. So, but the uniformity and it looks really nice. So when you get a chance, there's, I think we've activated, I think we've only done 2 of them and a couple documents. She might have got them all by now uploaded, but you can see the websites. I think that's it.
Okay. Thank you for this, Teresa. I would note that just for the, looking at this, right, the fund balance, I mean, the 91,000 on a $17 million budget's 0.5%, right? So there's not a lot of margin for error on this, and it's always amazing to me how close
I know.
the budgets come in, right? Because at the end of the day, it would be very easy to completely miss this budget, right? So
Right.
people are-
Yeah.
When people look at like what our staff is doing and approvals of expenditures and all that, I mean, most businesses, this would be off by $1 million here. So this is, it's pretty extraordinary every year. I think it does show like that tuition, how important that is, right? Cause that was 25 grand of the plus. One question, Teresa, just so we're, the building maintenance, we didn't spend 28,000 and then we did building improvements, we didn't spend 8,000. That's almost 30% of our maintenance budget. I know we took quite a bit of, we were thinking about cutting it. I mean, every little dollar matters. So is this something that this isn't a criticism, this is just more as a board, is this money that wasn't spent on something that now all of a sudden we're gonna need to make sure that it gets spent this year?
Yeah, and there was a couple projects and things that, some of it like supplies or something like that, and then even the contracted services. So some of that kind of played a factor into how it played out.
Okay.
And because we have open positions and we are doing the contract services, if we had, I think I put a note in there about that, but, where we had a little extra surplus on that because we just didn't end up paying out as much of the contracts.
On the
Contracted
book
services, yeah, and
Okay.
having some custodians come and hiring custodians to
see.
fill custodian positions and stuff too.
Okay,
Yeah,
so that's where that
So,
is,
yeah.
okay. And then the bus actually is interesting, because that's obviously a huge, that's a fairly big expense, so we. Have about a $50,000 surplus on a bus, is that just lower fuel costs or?
no, actually,
That
the
would-
fuel cost actually went up, but it's, I, because of the percentage and everything else, because that. We had gone up like 13% when the new contract went in like last January or something like that, so we anticipated actually having to spend more than that. But again, the bus routes, it's. I don't know, I'd have to, actually, I was looking at that a little further, but I didn't get fully into that to find out, cause I was looking at that myself and didn't get, whether we didn't have a full day or something that cause we only had a couple snow days, only 2 that I know of.
Right.
But even the gas, the gas price went up
Right,
and stuff and everything else, and even the cost of the operation for this last year went up, so it might be that we just over budgeted based on.
right. Right. Any other questions for Teresa?
You talk about, my computer just died. Looking at the auditing findings on page 52
Mhm.
of document 3.0. And what are the auditors trying to convey there?
52.
I think it was 3.0 and 3.1.
You wanna use mine, what's that?
Just do it.
Must be 3.1.
Must be 3.1. Sorry, I just closed down.
That's okay, I got the document, what page?
52.
52.
Oh,
Um. Get that real quick.
The year-end purchase order analysis.
Just page 50 on mine.
That's page 50. 52.
52.
Yeah, sorry. 50 of the document. Yeah, it just talked about purchase order analysis and roles, and the highlighted in this letter is that it's not, it's a significant deficiency, but not a material weakness, and so I just wanted your thoughts on, hey, what are they talking about? What was the conversation like with the level of risk?
I'm on 3.1, I feel like, I'm sorry.
it's the last page.
Very loud.
It's the very last, like the last 3 paragraphs.
It looks like, can you see this? That's the page that, it's in.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
you're on
about the
that one.
open
Yeah.
purchase orders.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, I don't have that, I didn't open that one.
It's identifying the balance of open purchase orders or prudence accounts payable.
And it was just, clearly to be put in the letter, you all must have a conversation about it, and so I'm just trying to figure out like, what prompted this, bread box or barn, sensitive credit.
Some of the
Yeah,
conversation I had with Tyler at Plaza, which they are more than willing still to come in. And he said, just let Dave know when you guys want him at the next meeting or whatever, he's more than willing to come and everything else and talk about it. But what was finding is that kind of like fighting with the purchase orders this year,
yeah.
is what happens is that everybody wants to encumber the funds. And I think that if they just encumber them, that that when we roll them over, that they can still spend them. And so it has come about to realize that we shouldn't be marking those as accounts payable, because I think by habit, they post that way, and so we kind of left them, but we need to make sure that at the end of the year, you can't just encumber something and automatically assume that it's becoming a payable. And so that was one of the conversations that we did have about that, and trying to get the purchase orders to stop.
We've been having this conversation this year too.
And we put deadlines,
Purchase orders,
and
yeah,
we still have a lot. I mean, a lot open that shouldn't be, we should have been having invoices, but we're at the, middle of August, we should have had invoices and stuff, but purchases were still being. And I could sit here and tell you that I could tell somebody no, but I get overruled.
Does that answer your question, Leah?
Yeah, I just wanted a little more context on it.
Yeah, it's how we're treating and looking at them, and we shouldn't really be treating them that way.
Got it. Good. All right, any questions for Teresa? Thank you for all that information tonight. Okay, with that, it ends our regular meeting. We will need to move into executive session. I forgot my,
is it for the labor relations agreements that we closed?
yes,
So fancy word for contract.
yes. That should be for it, because this is.
Yeah, but where are you seeing labor relations, James? I'm not seeing that.
In the chief notes at the bottom, reasons for entering executive session for Title I session, section 313. A, contracts, B, labor relations agreements with employees. In our notes.
Okay.
But
So I can make a two-part motion just because it's related to contracts, so I can make the first motion. I move to find that premature general public knowledge regarding these contracts that would be discussed places the board of substantial disadvantage because we risk disclosing our details on these contracts in public. Do I have a
I'll second.
second? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Second motion we made, I moved to enter into executive session for the purpose of discussing these teacher contracts under Title I, Section 313A1
at 7:39 p.m.
at 7:30.
Second.
Seconded by Michael, all those in favor? That is unanimous. All right, we will move into public session. We will be coming out. And as hard as we do, and we will be adjourning. All right, we're back live. We're re-entering our public session. Okay. Do I have a motion to appoint new hires?
I would move to approve the following new hires: Karen McLaren as a 1.0 teacher for the 26-27 school year, Emily Dallas as a 1.0 art teacher for the 26-27 school year, and Erin Rourke, Spanish teacher for the 26-27 school year. I would note, as Marion Cross School transitions from French to Spanish, it is also going to change the curriculum so that instruction is focused on grades 2 through 6. And students in 6th grade will have equity in the amount of instruction time with their peers at the Richmond Middle School and be better prepared for 7th grade. With gratitude for the scheduling committee for considering these changes, which are led by teachers and everybody involved in the hiring to find a great candidate and candidates this late in the school year.
I will second that.
All those in favor?
Vote for that.
Mike went for the best motion ever. All right, on that, we have our next meeting on September 2nd. Any agenda topics for that meeting? One to note, I will probably hopefully have a agreement that we can approve for the Norwich Budget Committee member. We've been going back and forth with school board recommendation. So just keep an eye out. I probably should look because they sent it to me like a month ago and I not totally read it over yet. I did get comments from Neil. We went back, cleaned it up a little bit more, so I'm hoping that this will be ready to go, so the Norwich Budget Committee can be officially formed
Great.
as well.
I have one for December. Neil and I were saying it would be great to invite Lauren and Dee to meet with our school board in December. Our new legislators.
Yeah.
We were chatting after this.
Assuming that they are the ones elected,
Well, they're.
Oh, they're running, yeah.
Yeah, so.
then we should invite the senator too, right? Cause those are just our reps.
Yeah.
Do we wanna invite everybody?
Sure.
Not just one, I mean, I just wondering.
Yeah, we've never had this as our senator.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm wondering, like, why just the reps?
I just
Yeah.
have, because Rebecca and Jim always come.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, with that, do I have a motion to adjourn? Please, sorry, Gina,
I've moved to adjourn the meeting at 7:59 PM.
Second.
Michael, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you all, and we'll see you in September.
Thanks.
See you.
Stevens.